What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Man, we are finally back working on the Tang. So earlier today, actually saw it in the previous video, I picked up the transmission from Precision Transmission. We are ready to go. Got the converter, got the transmission, and it's back at the house now. So I'm actually gonna go pick up Mr. Streetcar Joe on Instagram, and he's gonna help me get the torque converter on and then get the transmission stabbed up into the car. And so it's kind of hard to do by yourself. Everything else I can pretty much do by myself. You know, the cross member plate, the drive shaft, all that stuff's real easy. The starter, putting in the flex plate bolts to the converter, that stuff's pretty easy to do on your own. But actually getting the transmission up and in there, it's kind of hard by yourself. I'm sure people do it all the time, but it's a little bit easier when you use another person. So we're gonna go pick up Mr. Streetcar Joe, and we'll see you guys back at the house. Streetcar Joe, what is the trick here, man? Why?
Or did you even get it out to film it quick enough? Dave was over here spinning it for like 5 minutes. Probably 10 minutes.
That's such an
like,
exaggeration.
I just don't understand this, Joe. I can't ever get it. And he goes, I guess he was going to grab his phone. And I was like, watch, I'll get it in like 5 seconds. And I think I got it in like 4.
Okay, how'd you get it though? You wiggled it back?
I think the problem is you need to lift up. I think you had the ailerons. Oh, I didn't have it. So you need to lift up, and then you just kind of rock it back and forth like this. If it doesn't go, spin it like 90 degrees, and then lift up, rock it, and sooner or later it'll catch it and it'll fall in.
So it still wasn't even all the way.
It was.
Nice.
I just pushed out a little, so it's on all the way. So.
Wow, look at that. Streetcar Joe.
Look at this.
2,000 horsepower transmission.
2,000 horsepower transmission.
Cost me an arm and a leg, but you know,
did they engrave it? Dirty Bird anywhere?
They should have.
They should have. That'd been great.
That would be hilarious. All right, so I got to put the little thing right there.
What little thing?
A little, it's like a spacer or bearing. I don't know what it's called. Oh, I need to get
y'all got a deep freeze in here?
I need to put my motor plate in there.
What is that? What is that?
I've had it. Yeah, if you need it.
What are you storing there?
Dead bodies.
Well, now I'm scared.
Don't look in there. Oh! Dude, quit making a mess.
What you'd expect to be a deep freeze.
Can someone get this hunk of shit out of here, please?
What is that doing?
I don't know. I'll pay someone. Let me get some bolts.
Hey, what are you doing?
You got it done yet?
I don't work when you're not here.
What kind of bullshit is that? I always work on your shit when you're not there.
What's this hitting on? Why can I not come up?
Hit something right there.
I'll make it so it doesn't.
It's because the trans isn't like you. I got the transmission in last night. Huge thanks to Joe helping out with the converter and the transmission. But the trans is in. Got the drive shaft in. All the lines are hooked back up. Put some fluid in it. Got the cross member in. Got the bolts from the flex plate to the torque converter all tightened. Drive shaft bolts are tightened. Pretty much now I'm gonna start the car, make sure there's no leaks. Temp sensor is not hooked up, of course, as it never works on this car, but we'll get that fixed here in a second. But anyways, transmission's in, all the fluid's in. I'm gonna hook up the battery tender just in case the battery is a little bit low from sitting for the last month, but it should be good to go, and we're gonna start it up here in just a second. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video installing the transmission into the Tangstang. It's pretty easy. I've taken that transmission out, put it back in plenty of times because we've had it refreshed, changed the converter in it. When we were first installing it, we had to take it off 3 and 4 times to check some clearances of stuff. Joe and I have installed and taken that Turbo 400 out a ton of times. So it's really not that bad. Luckily, this is the only good thing about not having like AC or power steering. There's not a bunch of crap in the way when you're working on the car. Like this engine, it only took me a couple hours to take the engine out. Same thing with the transmission. There's not a bunch of stuff underneath the car anymore, so it makes it really easy to access. And a Turbo 400 is a lot lighter than a 10R80 transmission. So that is definitely the good thing. Like working on this car is a lot easier than working on like a brand new Mustang with shit all over the place. So that is definitely a plus. But we got the transmission in, no problem. It's running pretty good. You guys will see in the next video me driving the car around, just making sure everything's good to go. So you guys will see that in the next video. This weekend we do have Funny Car Chaos, and Streetcar Joe will be racing in a small tire invitational. So it's an 8-car lineup. Brennan Dickinson, Billy Barker, Joe's racing it. Our buddy Wyatt Kerbo, he's got a badass twin turbo S197. Megan Dickinson, Brennan's sister. Who else is racing? I don't know, a few other cars. So it'll be fun. It's going to be hot. It's Amarillo, Texas in July. It is going to be damn hot. It's been above 100 like every day here. So it's going to be really hot. As you guys know, the track isn't the greatest here, but still going to be a fun time. Hopefully the track will be a little bit better because it is Funny Car Chaos. So they'll have a lot of big tire cars going down there, laying some rubber down. And hopefully it'll be a little bit better than it previously was. So what I want to talk to you guys today about to close out the video is, first thing, comment down below if you like the new Ford Bronco. I actually think it's pretty cool. It is definitely a little out there as far as design-wise. It looks a little futuristic. The 2.7 liter twin turbo will be cool with the 10-speed. However, they should have done the 5.0 Coyote. That would have been freaking amazing. But those 2.7s with like an intake, exhaust tune, they don't sound good with an exhaust, but a tune on those things definitely opens them up. I've had a 3.5 EcoBoost in my F-150 before, and those things do really awesome. And I know the 2.7s are pretty quick as well. So I think it'll be fun. It'll be a cool little car to drive around, a cool little SUV, I guess. Jeep gang better be on notice though, because those new Ford Broncos, I definitely think are gonna definitely compete with some Jeep sales. Now, the only thing that Jeep has over it is they just released that they're gonna put the 392, the Scat Pack motor in the Jeep. But these new Jeeps, obviously the new one is the JL, they've had the JK, but it's essentially the same frame since like 2007 or 2008. They haven't, they've changed a bunch of stuff here and there, but it's still like the same frame. Whereas the Bronco hasn't been out since like what, the 80s or something. So it's pretty cool that they're bringing them back. It's definitely futuristic looking. I thought that was like just a concept, but that's actually what it's going to look like. So I think it's pretty cool. So you guys comment down below what you think of the new Bronco. Now, another thing I want to talk to you about is not getting rid of the Tangstang, but actually adding another car to the channel. A few reasons why is, if you guys will see, let me flip the camera around real quick. So you will see that the Tangstang has an 850 cage in it. Now, this is a 10-point cage, means it's only good to run 850s in the quarter. So you got the bars up here, got the bar going across, got the hoop up top, all the bars in the back. Now, the problem with this is the next cage is a 25 cert cage. So you got like your 25.3, 25.2, 25.5, 25.4, a couple different variations, but essentially those are the cages you need to run in the 7s and quicker, 750s and quicker. You need a 25-point cage. Now, to add a 25-point cage to an 850 cage, you're talking about a lot of money. They are super expensive. You got to cut out the floorboards. There's a bunch of bars that go underneath, a bunch of bars that go up here. You got the funny car hoop around the driver, a bunch of bars in the back. It is a lot of work, not only to actually install it, it's a lot of parts, it's a lot of bars. Chromoly's not cheap, and this is a chromoly 850 cage because it does save about 75 pounds. So of course, when I went to the 25, I would keep a chromoly. So the problem with going to a 25 from this is they say it's more expensive when you already have the 850 in there. It's a lot of work. Some of the bars you got to cut out and redo to add the 25 to it. It's just expensive. Like there's no way around it. It's just expensive. So The other thing is this car is an IRS car, independent rear suspension. So if I change this out to a straight axle, I can no longer run true street classes. The problem with that is the only classes I'd be able to run technically are like small tire classes or do grudge racing. And I'll tell you what, this car is nowhere near fast enough to do small tire car racing. It could do some grudge racing, but you got to be careful in Texas. These guys are crazy fast. This car isn't even truly fast enough to really race true street in Texas. Now, maybe in some other states it would be fine, but true street in Texas, these guys are going like mid fours, no big deal. So an IRS S550 car is definitely not going to go mid fours. So I've talked about straight axle swapping this car, but the problem with that is it's like 10 to 15 grand, plus you got to notch the frame. So not only is it a lot of money, it also is a lot of work. So I've talked about kind of keeping this car where it's at, possibly. You know, obviously we haven't maxed out this setup. You want to be safe and everything. You want to get the right cage. Like I said, I've already gone faster than what this cage is certed for. But I still want to use this car to its full potential. Like I said, I haven't really gone faster with the built motor because we had a bunch of boost issues. And once I fixed the boost issues, then we broke the input shaft on the transmission. So we really haven't tested this car to its full potential. It definitely has a high 7-second to a mid 7-second setup in the car. It's just a matter of fact of making it all work, having the right track, the right prep, the right suspension, good air, tune up good, you know, the car, make sure the car's not going to wheelie, make sure the car's not going to blow the tires off. So there's a lot of things I have to go right. Definitely this is a mid to high 7-second car the way it sits for sure right now. Now to go faster than that, obviously the car would need a lot more work. So what I've talked about is actually getting another car, like a roller that already has like a 25-point cage in it, because it sounds crazy, but it's actually cheaper to get a car that already has a 25 cert cage in it, already with a straight axle, good rear end, nice suspension, nice wheels, and then add an engine, trans, electronics, fuel, and a turbo setup to it. It's actually cheaper to go that route than to build one from scratch typically, especially a new car. New cars are always way more expensive to mod. As you guys will see, I have a video coming up going over literally exactly how much everything has costed on this car in depth and in detail, but it is very expensive. Street Car Joe can testify to this. It is very expensive to mod a new car, and then even at that, they have their limitations because new cars are heavier. New cars come with IRS suspension. There's not as much aftermarket for new cars, so there's definitely a lot of factors that play into this. Now, you guys comment down below, if we were to add a car, it would be more of a car that goes to the track to do small tire and true street classes. Comment down below which car you would do. Now, please don't say a Corvette. I'm talking something older that I can go pay cash for. That's a roller with a 25 cert cage, not IRS, straight axle in the back. But you guys comment what body style car you would look for. Would you do a Fox body? Would you do a 4i? Or would you do a newer Fox body, like early 90s? Would you do, you could even do an S197. Now, that's why I do like S197s, is because they came with a straight axle. It's a generation before the S550. Good looking cars, came with a Gen 2 Coyote. Awesome cars. Now, they're a little hard to find with the right cage because they are still newer. Not everyone's put a cage in them. Like a Fox body, it's pretty easy to go find a 25 cert cage because everyone's done it. S197 is a little harder to find with those, but would you do like an S197? Would you go GM, get like an F-body Camaro, Trans Am? You could do a New Edge or an SN95 Mustang. That's an option. You guys comment down below, though. If you were to add a car to the channel, that would be mostly for the track. It could do like 30, 40-mile cruises for true street classes, but it would compete in true street and small tire. You guys comment down below. I'd like to know what you guys would pick out. So you guys comment down below what you think of the new Bronco. Like I said, I think it's awesome. Kennedy freaking loves it. She wants me to go buy her one, but we're not because we got other things we got to get taken care of first. And then you guys comment down below which car you would add to the channel next. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Like I said, the next video you'll see driving around the Mustang. And then we got Funny Car Chaos this weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys on the next one.